Also breaking in the last half hour, a convicted serial killer put to death inside the state prison in Jackson, but not before Carlton Gary gave his very last recorded statement only to 11 Alive. Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe is live now outside the prison with much more on the convicted stocking strangler's last words. Brendan?
That's right, Vinny. Carlton Gary was executed by lethal injection tonight at 10:33 p.m., but there was one witness who was scheduled to be there who was not there. 11 Alive investigative journalist for 11alive.com, Jessica Knoll. She was booted off the prison grounds here simply because she agreed to accept a phone call interview with the condemned man hours before his execution.
I'm an innocent person.
Carlton Gary will forever be known as the Columbus stocking strangler, but he died proclaiming his innocence.
From the very beginning, this thing has just been one-sided.
The condemned man chose 11alive.com investigator Jessica Knoll to record his final thoughts in a phone call just hours before his scheduled execution. Carlton Gary was arrested back in 1984. He thought it was for a series of armed robberies, not a series of murders.
That's why I'm smiling in the very first photo. People see me coming down the hall with the red sleeveless top on. They thinking I've lost my mind because I'm accused of these cases, but I'm smiling. Well, I'm smiling because I don't know I'm accused of these cases.
Under the authority of Georgia law, we have the right, of course, to close this meeting.
The Georgia Parole Board denied clemency but heard testimony in secret the day before the scheduled execution. Journalist Jessica Knoll was taken off the execution witness list and ordered off prison property once the Department of Corrections learned Gary had called us from death row.
They didn't want the public or media in the parole board hearing. The DA won't let us look at the case files from a 40-year-old case because it's still quote-unquote pending until you're dead. Why is this happening in the dark? Why don't they want the people to see what's going on if there's nothing wrong with the case?
Thank you. Answer that question.
Carlton Gary will never hear the answer.
The execution of Carlton Michael Gary was carried out at 10:33 p.m. in accordance of state law. He did not accept a final prayer and did not make a final statement.
Now, you may ask why we talked only with the convicted serial killer and not with the victims' families. It's important to point out there were no victims' families present for tonight's execution. These crimes happened 4 decades ago. There certainly is another side. And remember, he was convicted and his appeals were denied just as recently as tonight when the U.S. Supreme Court denied to give him a stay. That's why it happened so late at 10:33 instead of at 7. We will be asking first thing in the morning D.A. Slater for those records that she has kept closed and her predecessors now for 4 decades. And we'll finally, hopefully, see the evidence. We're live in Jackson.
Did you kill those women?
Absolutely not.
Did you have any knowledge or anything to do with their murders?
Absolutely not.
You can listen to our entire exclusive interview with Carlton Gary and his wife in the final few hours of his life right now on 11alive.com. We've also posted background and historical footage from the stocking strangler case.